Namaste, good evening and salam alaikum, distinguished members and guests. On behalf of Indian Business and Professional Council, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this evening's live telecast via webinar on a topic so relevant in current times, given the COVID-19 challenges. The topic is turning setbacks into comeback. And we have today evening none other than Mr. Shiv Khera, a noted author and motivational speaker of international repute. It is to his credit that over 40 years, not only he has done immense research, but he has trained tens of thousands of professionals and business people and corporates, inspired them, motivated them, coached them, and trained them to realize their full potential and be successful. Not only that, the books that he has written, they have sold more than 8 million copies across the globe, from US to Singapore, from DHL to Lufthansa, to Johnson & Johnson, and big corporates he has been training over years. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome for this evening webcast, Shiv Khera ji. Thank you for accepting our invite and namaste. I'm seeing you after 3 years, attended the last session in Dubai, and I'm still enjoying the benefit of that, me and a lot of other people who did that. And today, all our members are there who are listening, and given the challenging time, and you know about leadership, sir. Of course, I'm not an expert on that, so I will leave it to you to speak. But before that, may I request all the members and guests to switch off their mobiles so that you can take full benefit of this session. With that, and without much ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Shiv Khera, and sir, the floor is all yours.
All right, Dilip bhai, thank you very much. I'm grateful to you, sir. Thank you very much. And all the viewers and listeners today. Well, folks, the title of the program that we have put in is Turn Setbacks into Comebacks. Reason we took it is, I've had 3 major setbacks in my life. So I was literally in a minor situation, and I'm going to share what helped me come back. That is my learning as I went along. 2, today the way environment is, I don't think everybody has all the answers. Anybody has all the answers. Certainly I don't. And my academics are, I'm a BCom 3rd division, I failed in my 10th. That's my academics. And I come from a business family. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working. I didn't create them, I inherited them, and the government took over, they nationalized. And right from being a mine owner, I came on the street. Street means street. Some people had money, our family did not. My father had died when I was just about finished college, and we were left with the liabilities and the assets were gone. And I remember a year later, my daughter was born, and I did not have $10 to buy milk that night, and I sold some of the last pieces of my mother's jewelry to get released from the hospital. I did not have $10. Well, I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all 3 businesses. Finally, November 13, 1975, I left India. I went to US, initially went to Toronto. We were sleeping on the floor, we had no furniture, and I started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door for about 1.5 to 2 years. And totally by accident, I got into selling life insurance, where my manager was about to fire me within a matter of 90 days. Now, how my life changed from here, that is what I'm going to share, how it took to a different swing. Now, thereafter, I moved on to the US. I got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984, started the New Jersey operation with no clients, and I sold my company with close to 500 clients for a decent sum. Now, I'm going to share what helped me turn back all my situations that I've gone through. So that is as far as that is concerned. Now, coming to the current crisis. This crisis, the coronavirus, has gone from one city to another. It's covered the whole world. Hospitals are overcrowded. There is shortage of supplies. Orders are getting canceled. Factories are closing. Unemployment going up. Death rate going up. Literally, the world has shaken up like never before. Now, with this scenario, people are feeling uncertain because nobody can predict when is the finish line, what is the cutoff point, nobody can predict. Therefore, people are feeling very insecure. And because of the insecurity, Dilip Bhai, people are feeling stressed out, anxiety, frustration, depression, and even anger, all put together. Now, all I can say is stress is both normal and natural. Anybody who says they have no stress, they belong into a lunatic asylum. Now, folks, all stress is not bad because it is the stress that makes us perform. You see, an athlete at the Olympics, is he under stress? Answer is yes. It is his stress that makes us perform. Another example I'll share. We all have seen either in real life or in the movies, the thoroughbreds, and Dubai probably, there's a lot of horse racing going on there. You see, the thoroughbreds, before they're taken into the cabin, what are the thoroughbreds doing? They're jumping like this. Why? They're under heavy stress. They're jumping like this. They don't walk straight, they jump. They're under very heavy stress. Now, they're put into the cabin. Then the bell rings and bang, they shoot. They perform. Now, that's a thoroughbred who performs. But if you take a jackass to the race course, this jackass walks so comfortably, relaxed. He's so cool. He's not jumping up and down like a monk, like a thoroughbred. He's cool. But then that's a jackass. He will remain a jackass. He will never perform like a thoroughbred. Now, this sentence is very important. Dilip Bhai, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. I repeat, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. Now, all of us can handle stress. Everybody can handle stress. But what we cannot handle is chronic stress. When stress becomes chronic, that is the time we break down. Now, most important thing is, let us not overrate the crisis and threat we are facing, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. I repeat this. Let us not overrate the crisis and threat we're facing, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. Okay, now with that scenario, this crisis has impacted us three ways. One, it has impacted our life. Two, livelihood. Three, our lifestyle. Three ways. One, let's look at the life part. Folks, none of us know who will be in quarantine next. Nobody knows. Interesting. Nobody knows who will be in quarantine next. And two, what we do, where we go, and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. I repeat one more time. What we do, where we go, and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. Now, let us talk of the livelihood. Now, folks, who are the people who are hurt the most in livelihood? Now, there are three kinds of people in this world. One is the super rich, super rich. Two, mediocre. Three, the poor. The worst hit are the poor who are daily wage earners. They work during the day, eat in the evening, work during the day, eat in the evening. They're the worst hit. Now, let us talk of the super rich. Dilip Bhai, did you know that Apple Computers has $250 billion in cash reserve? Now, I'll be surprised. They don't have a livelihood problem, man. Same thing with the Birlas, the Tatas, the Adanis, the Ambanis, I will be totally surprised if they also have a livelihood problem. They don't. So that leaves the mediocre, where people like me and possibly some other viewers might be in mediocre level. The mediocre people are thinking, will the crisis finish before the money? Or will the money finish before the crisis? Interesting. Will the money finish before the crisis, or will the crisis finish before the money? Now, that is where people like me come in. Now let's look at, this has literally forced people to distinguish between active income and passive income. Means what? I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. This is called active income. I don't go to work, I get no money. Active income. Now, this has raised a major question in people's mind to become financially independent. Even if I don't go to work, I must get money. That is called passive income. We all must shoot for the passive income part. Now, I had another company in US which I sold, pension tax consulting firm, where we did financial planning, and we used to tell our clients, you must have 1 year of your income in liquid cash, where you can access the money within less than 24 hours. And that is called emergency fund. Why? Because emergencies never warn you in advance. They never warn you in advance. Okay. Now, that is the livelihood component part. Now, the big question comes, what about tomorrow livelihood issues are concerned? Because everybody has lost income. Job cuts, salary cuts, businesses are closed, even the governments have lost revenues. They're not collecting any taxes either. So everybody literally are belly up. Now, the mediocre people, they're looking at one more way. I had a banker come into my office the other day, and I asked him, what percentage of your staff are you functioning right now? He said, we're functioning with 30% staff. I said, are you functioning at 30% efficiency level? He said, no, sir. We're functioning at 60% efficiency level. And we are shooting to go to 70, 80, and 90% efficiency level with 30% staff. I said, how's that? He said, till now, we had lots of people who were on manual banking. We put everybody on digital banking, especially senior citizens. Senior citizens did not even know how to turn a computer on. So he said, we're going back to a lot of senior citizens who have the money and putting them on digital platform. Therefore, we are able to achieve 70, 80, and 90% efficiency with 30% staff. So, Dilip bhai, my next question was that when the crisis is over, if you are reaching 90% efficiency with 30% staff, does that mean when the crisis is over, the balance 60% will become redundant? Then you won't need them. Why would you need them then? He said, we haven't thought about it, but that could be a real issue. Now comes another issue. I believe most people who are listening today are business people here. Now, I've learned that in any organization, there are 4 kinds of people working, 4 kinds of people. One is the superstar. The superstar is proactive person. They are asset to an organization. They take pride in their performance. They build your company. They come up with ideas. They help you grow. And when they say a job is done, it is done. And when you go check it out, it is done properly. They tell the truth. They tell the truth. They're superstars. They are assets to the organization. But how many are they? Very few. Very few. But the second category of people in any organization they are doers. You tell them they do it, you tell them they do it, you tell them they do it, you don't tell them they don't do it. But then you go check it out, have they done it or not, and you have to make sure that they do it right. Now, once in a while, to overcome, to not do it, They might tell lies. They might tell lies. Now that's a doer. The third category of a person in the organization is talkers. They talk more, do less. Now, you see, they are really not motivated people. You know something? They only do enough that you have no reason to fire them, but they're really not motivated. And we all have such people in our companies. I repeat, they're not motivated people. They only do enough that you have no reason to fire them, but the person is not really motivated. And they talk more, do less, and to hide all that stuff, this guy becomes a chronic liar. And the fourth category of person in an organization is called troublemaker. Now, superstars, the doers, the talkers, the troublemakers. Every company has all four. And now we need to understand, we need to get rid of the talkers and the troublemakers. I've been doing corporate training for the last 35 years and built my own companies and sold them. I've learned one thing in my life. It is better not to have a person than to have a wrong person. Yes, no. It is better not to have a person than to have a wrong person. That's more damaging to you. Okay, now, so much for the livelihood component. Now let us talk of the lifestyle. Folks, till the crisis came, the lockdown came, all of us, we were all running. We were all running in the fast lane. Where we were going, we didn't know, but we were going. Everybody, we were going. We had no time. Nobody had a time. Now look at this. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history. And yet, we don't have what? We don't have time. You know why? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. And I'm guilty. I'm not preaching here. I'm not giving lectures here. I'm guilty. I messed up my priorities too. And interestingly, whenever we mess up our priorities, we forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Urgent may or may not be important, and important may or may not be urgent. But the interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. See, health is important, but it's not urgent. Exercising every day is important, but it's not urgent. Now, if I have a crucial meeting tonight and I cannot exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what happens? I will end up in the hospital. 2, in life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if we ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? We start talking to our lawyers. Look at this, how interesting it is. Whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. Now, we need to look at our priorities. You ask people, why do you go to work? I go to work for my family. Why do you work hard? I work hard for my family. Who are the most important people in your life? My family. Who are the most neglected? Also my family. What a joke. What a joke. The most important people many times do become most neglected too. And it is sad. And I'm guilty myself. Sometimes we did that too. You know what the crisis has done at this point, Dilip Bhai, and that is that it has forced people to step backwards and say, I was running all right, but let me check. Was I running in the right direction? If my direction was wrong, I'll go off track. And now people have realized that direction is much more important than speed. I repeat, direction in life is much more important than speed. Now, another lifestyle change that has come in is we all have heard the phrase, cash is king. Cash is king. Now, people have realized what is the meaning of cash is king. They realize that money in the bank is more precious than having 50 shirts in your closet. Money in the bank is more important than having a car worth $250,000. Money in the bank is more precious than having a car worth $250,000. It does not make sense. All of a sudden, people have started thinking differently. Said, cash is king. Now, that is a lifestyle component. And now let's come to, in history, there are only two references where similar situation has happened in the past. One was the Spanish flu in 1918. I'm sure many of you have heard this before, so I'm not going to dwell on it. But the only reason I'm bringing is Spanish flu came in two phases in 1918, and it went away. And people said the crisis is over, danger is over, and they dropped their guard. But the Spanish flu came the second phase, and it killed 50 million people were dead. 50 million people were dead. Okay, now why am I sharing this with you? Because the moment the lockdown is over, people think the danger is over. Folks, the danger is not over. Look at South Korea, the second phase came in. Singapore, the second phase came in. Melbourne just closed 3 days ago. And in the US, 150,000 people are dead. And the doctors in US are saying the second phase has not come as yet. It will be in September and October. And they are saying the numbers will be horrendous. So my only thought is, don't drop your guard. That's all to all the listeners. Don't drop your guard. Okay, now, the second reference point for the crisis like this has been the Great Depression of 1929. During the Great Depression, the banks failed, stock market crashed. People lost their savings. $100 became $15. Dilip, the dollar lost its value by 85%. 85%. And 15 million people were unemployed in the US. Now, 15 million 100 years ago is equivalent to 55 million today, because the population then was only 120 million. And by the way, I just checked the figures. Last week, 51 million people are unemployed in the US right now. 51 million. And the numbers are rising right now. Okay. Now, what is the silver lining? Now let us talk of the positive things, how we can overcome and build ourselves in the future. Okay. What is the silver lining? The silver lining is that experience has shown that whenever unemployment has gone up, self-employment has always gone up. I repeat one more time. Whenever unemployment has gone up, self-employment has always gone up. Now, why do I bring this point? Because during the Great Depression, many people went bankrupt. People had no money and no risk-taking ability either. But there were some people who were positive entrepreneurs. They were called survivalist entrepreneurs. They had no money, no risk-taking ability, and they were not educated people. They were not techies. They were not innovative. But what they had was they were positive, solution-focused people. You notice there are some people who are problem-focused. You know what that means? You give them a solution, they'll give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. Henry Ford said, kick them out, kick them out. We're not stupid. We understand there are problems in this world. We need somebody who's solution focused. Now, there are some people who started businesses then, 100 years ago, and today they are household names in the US. I'll share with you only 3 examples, only 3. One was a man by the name of George Jenkins. In his neighborhood, he started an outlet for non-perishable, durable goods. Now, these two words are very important because if they were perishable and he couldn't sell, it would be total loss. And durable means if he was not able to sell, at least he could use in his family because they had no risk-taking ability. This is how he started then. And today, his turnover is $30 billion. His net worth is over $6 billion. And he has 1,000 outlet stores in the US, 1,000 outlets in the US. And the store's name is called Publix Supermarket. Go Google it out, check it out. Publix Supermarket. Second example was two brothers in California. They were struggling, but they got some grapes, started making wine out of it. But then nobody would buy it. Nobody had the money. They started selling the wine 50% below market. That's how they started. And today, Gallo Wineries in California is one of the largest wineries in the United States. They account for 25% of wine trade in the US with net worth of $10 billion. And third example was a man in Idaho, had a small patch of land. He started cultivating potatoes. And what he couldn't sell, they ate. What he couldn't eat, they started rotting. So he could not afford the potatoes rotting, and that would mean a loss. He couldn't afford it. So he started freezing them. Folks, today, this man accounts for 33% of the French fries business in the US, with McDonald's being his largest customer and net worth being close to $10 to $12 billion. Now, folks, these examples, I don't want to leave the viewers or listeners with one thought that anybody of us will start any business and each of us will become billionaires. That is not the message. Folks, the message is very clear that all of us need to be solution focused. There is opportunity right now. There is opportunity right now. And some of the greatest billionaires started from a scratch, and that was during the Great Depression. And this is the same opportunity one more time. Okay, now let us look at how the crisis has impacted us again, three ways. One, physically, medically. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not qualified. You get enough information anywhere. Two, economically. I just want to talk about only two things here. People have now realized one more thing, that bottom line is much more important than top line. People are realizing, say, buddy, bottom line is much more important than top line. Earlier, people were thinking, what is your turnover? Who cares your turnover? Nobody gives a damn. What's your bottom line? Tell me, that's it. That's important. One. And two is that production has to come close to consumption. Why? Till now, the word was globalization, globalization, globalization. Now the word is localization, localization, localization. Why? Because production and consumption was 20,000 miles away. And all of a sudden they woke up. I was totally surprised, and Dilip Bhai, you might know, being in the pharma somewhere, United States depends on China for 97% of the pharma products. I didn't know that. I don't know if you knew it. 97% of pharma products. And all of a sudden they woke up that a country can blackmail us and we'll be out tomorrow, starving. India depends on China for 81% of antibiotics. India depends on China for 70% electronics. All of a sudden they woke up, what happened? Production and consumption must come closer. And why did they go away first to begin? Only because of labor cost. But now because of robotics and automation, labor costs have become so insignificant. You can have 10 times the capacity to manufacture with 1/10 of the labor now. So labor costs are not very important anymore. Okay. And third is, one is physical, economical, and psychological. This is where I would spend more time on psychological part. Folks, psychological part is the emotional part. What has come out of this crisis is that people who are emotionally strong, they're coming out stronger from this crisis. Man, they're actually coming out stronger. And people who are emotionally weak, they're destroying their families. WHO came up with a report, domestic violence has gone up by 50%. Now, I'm going to talk about the psychological part. Now, from here onwards, let me share with you the steps that helped me in my life to overcome crisis. So there are 8 or 9 steps. If I have time, I'll make it 9. But if I don't have time, I'll cut short to 8. And if you want to take them down, please do so. I'll go a little slow, but they have literally been nuggets for me in my life, saved me through many difficult scenarios. So step one. To overcome the crisis is the Serenity Prayer. Folks, about 45 years ago, when I was in US, I attended a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book, Power of Positive Thinking. There were 1,000 people, I was one of them. And Dr. Peale came up to the stage and he looked at everybody and said, "It appears you are so calm, cool, and relaxed. It appears nobody has a problem here." Then he asked, "Does anybody have a problem here?" Everybody raised their hand. We have a problem. Who doesn't have a problem? We all have problems. And then he said, "How many people would like to get rid of their problems?" Again, everybody raised their hand. And then he said, "On my way here to this congregation, I came across a place where I saw some people lying there, all stretched out, totally relaxed. They had no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to know where that place is?" Everybody raised their hand. So Dr. Peale said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. There are people lying there, all stretched out, totally relaxed. They have no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to get rid of the problem? He asked again. Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. Then Dr. Peale said, folks, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we don't have problem, we'll be dead. And when you're running short of problems, watch out, he might call you quickly. Folks, that day, he gave a prayer, which was not his either. Probably it was somebody else's 2,000 years ago. It is called the Serenity Prayer. Some of you might have heard it, but I'll tell you, that prayer to me is the gist of life. And in the past 45 years, I have faced many difficult situations, and I have not left my house without the prayer. This prayer has helped me overcome a lot of things. And the prayer goes like this, so I'll go slow in case people want to take this down. The prayer goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference what I can and what I cannot. I repeat one more time. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference what I can and what I cannot. Now, if we dissect this prayer, analyze it, this is the crux of life. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, my question is, can we change everything in this world? Answer is no. Do we control everything in this world? Answer is no. There are many things beyond, such as, I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, and neither did you. And granted, if this is my height and this is the color of my skin, there's nothing I can do about it. And granted, sometimes people are born deformed. And sometimes bad things do happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? How did this crisis come, the corona crisis? I don't know, but it's here. It says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Why? Because many times in life, we people keep fighting the things they just cannot change. And they bring stress into their life. And they become paralyzed and become unproductive. So it says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. And if I can change, then give me the guts and courage to do it, and wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. What a powerful prayer. Now, when I wrote my new book, which was launched last year, and Dilip Bhai, if I have your address, I'll send a book to you, the new book, and it is You Can Achieve More. It was launched in London last year. I took this thought and took it 2 steps further. And I wrote in that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Seems like a contradiction, but not really. Now, how is life full of choices? See, if I ill-treat you, I have chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I've chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? If I drink and drive, I've chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? See, if I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? If I eat too much every day, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? If I tell lies, I've chosen to lose my credibility, haven't I? And if I tell the truth, I've chosen to be a credible person, haven't I? See, life is full of choices. Now, we are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. Our freedom stops after we make a choice. Now, how is life full of compromises? In life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. And as somebody said, sometimes nature gives us a lemon, the choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's our choice. Okay. Now, sometimes people do ask me, Mr. Khera, people who are successful in life, don't they make mistakes? And people who are failures, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer is, people who are successful, they do make mistakes. But remember, making a mistake once in a while does not make anybody a failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what brings failure. And doing something positive once in a while does not bring success either. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. So what is success? Series of positive decisions in life is called success, and series of negative decisions in life is called failure, and that's it. That's step one. Now step two. Step two, how to overcome the crisis. Now folks, to overcome the crisis, limit your exposure to news to only twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, and that's it. Why? Because news is so negative. It is depressing. It is depressing. Have you noticed there are some people who wake up in the morning, whatever time they do, 7, 8, whatever. They wake up in the morning, and what do they do the first thing? Turn the TV on and look at watch the news. And they're looking for what? Score. As if there's a cricket match between India and Australia. And the score is how many infected, how many died, how many infected, how many died, how many infected, how many died. They watch that for 1 hour. Then they switch the channel and they watch another 1 hour of the same infected died, as if the score is going to change. They move to the third channel, fourth channel, fifth channel, and they watch the same negativity from morning till night, 14 hours a day. And in the evening, the man says, I'm feeling depressed. Of course you will. How can you not feel depressed? You've been feeding your head with all negativity all day long. And when you are depressed, your immunity goes down anyway, and chances of catching the viral are much greater anyway. To overcome the crisis, folks, convert your downtime to uptime. Convert your wasted time to productive time. How do you do it? Folks, before the crisis came in the US, there was a survey conducted which said an average American watches, by American in Europe, they all this was before, right? They watch it. So a man bought a new TV. His friend came, saw the new TV, said, how much the TV cost you? He said, $1,000. He said, I don't think so. You don't know what your time is worth. Have you ever calculated what is your time worth? He said, not really, but I make $100,000 per year. And if I work 2,000 hours a year, my hourly rate is $50 an hour. He said, how many hours do you watch TV per day? He said, 3 hours. He said, multiply 50 with 3 hours, $150 per day, multiply 365. You know what this TV is costing you? Not $1,000. The TV is costing you $56,000 per year, which is more than your EMI on a $500,000 home. Folks, don't get me wrong. We all watch TV. We all like to watch TV. There are nice movies and nice plays. It relaxes us. But watching 3 to 4 hours TV per day, does that make sense? You are wasting your life in front of that idiot box, and that's all you're doing. Those people are making money. That's it. Now, how do you convert your wasted time to productive time? In my new book, I've given a study which said 85% of millionaires and billionaires in the world today are first generation. Only 15% are coming from inheritance. I repeat, 85% of millionaires and billionaires all over the world are first generation. So they were asked, how come you made so much financial success in such a short time? Did anybody hear the answer what they gave? They said, we read books. How many books? 50 books a year. Folks, 50 books a year means 1 book a week. Look at this. Multi-millionaires, billionaires read 1 book a week. 1 book a week. And folks, I just was reading the other day, Warren Buffett reads 500 pages per day. He doesn't read all agreements. He reads 500 pages per day. Bill Gates is an avid reader. Now, they read books. And what kind of books? And the answer was, they read only self-help books, not fiction. Why? Fiction is fiction, will remain fiction. Because they said, one good idea from a self-help book is worth $1 million. One good idea is worth $1 million. He said, we have no time to waste. Because a good book gives you wisdom of ages in a capsule form. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The path to success is already done. But many people have done it. Why reinvent the wheel? And it prevents you from expensive mistakes and pitfalls. Now, one more thing I learned is that a serious reader never lends or borrow books. They never lend or borrow books. Many times I've had people come to me and say, Mr. Khera, I've got a great book. I can lend it to you. I said, don't. Give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me. Don't lend it to me. Why? Because I won't give it back to you. Why? Because when I read a book, I always make notes on the side. I have a pencil. I make notes. I underline, highlight. Why? Because I learned one thing, that reading a good book once is not good enough. Folks, when you read a book the second time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you do find something new in yourself. When you read a good book the third time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you do find something new in yourself. Folks, there are books I read 4, 5, 6 times. You know, if you read a book only once and say, I have read it, you have only read for entertainment, that's all. You haven't got anything out of the book. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, I mean, these guys read books, 1 book a week. So what does that tell us? There is a connection between learning and earning and learning and earning and learning and earning. You learn and you earn and you learn and you earn. There's a connection between learning and earning. Now, there was a time I used to read 30, 40 books a year. But in between, I dropped the habit. And I also made mistake in the first 1 or 2 days. I was also watching TV 8 hours a day. But foolishly, I said, what are you doing, wasting time? So I went into my office and I started opening my packets because we had moved from another location. And I found that in my library alone, I have over 250,000 books, which is more than many libraries have. But then I saw many books were half read. I brought all those books, started reading. One night I was reading till 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't wake up till 2 o'clock, but who cares? I didn't waste my time watching TV. Folks, this is very important. Because if during the lockdown period, if we have not upskilled ourselves, or if we have not become more knowledgeable, or if we have not become healthier and fitter, health-wise, we cannot complain that we don't have time because we lack commitment and self-discipline. Now, why am I sharing this with you? These 3 things. You need, if you have not upskilled yourself, become more knowledgeable or healthier, fitter, there's something wrong with us, not outside. Now, why 3 things? It might surprise you, Dilip Bhai, till about 2 months ago, I was learning to do SMS from my grandchildren. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do SMS. In my life, I have never done an email, no email. I did not know how to open the computer. I didn't know how to do it. You know something? In the last 60 days, I have learned this little technology, and I have done in the past 60 days about 55 webinars. 55 webinars. And by the way, I'm getting paid for it. And by the way, I am booked for 1 month in advance already, till end of August. What have I done? I have upskilled myself. 2, I started reading books, gaining more knowledge. And 3, healthier, fitter. I've lost 6 kilos of weight. I exercise every day. Man, I'm enjoying it. If this crisis continues for another 6 months, I'll love it. I've never had such a wonderful time. Not that I wanted to continue, but I have never had such a wonderful time. So all I'm saying is that if, because of the crisis, we have not upskilled ourselves or become more knowledgeable or become healthier and fitter, we cannot complain we had no time. Convert your wasted time to uptime. Step 4. Step 4, folks, how do we overcome boredom, loneliness? Dilip, I get calls many times from people looking for answers. They think I have the answer. I really don't. I'm looking for answers myself. But anyway, they call me and they say, Mr. Khera, I'm bored. Then they say, I'm feeling depressed. What do I do? Now, I tell them what I have to tell them. But for my viewers, I'm sharing one thing. I learned one thing. Only boring people in life are bored. I repeat one more time. Only boring people in life are bored, and that's it. This is the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the pleasure of being alone. Now, somebody asked a world famous psychiatrist, Dr. Carl Menninger. The Menninger Clinic in US is the last word in psychiatry even today. Doc, if you knew for sure that one of your patients was coming up with an attack of depression, what treatment will you prescribe? They thought he would write some medication. But Dr. Menninger said, if I knew one of my patients was coming up with an attack of depression, I will tell them, go home, lock yourself out of the house, go to the other side of town, look for somebody who is in trouble, help them, and your depression will go away. What a prescription by a world famous psychiatrist. You know something? He said, poor people are so busy earning a living, they have no time to get depressed. Depression is the disease of the rich. They have all the time to get depressed. Poor people have no time to get depressed. They're so busy earning a living. What a prescription for depression. Do something for others in trouble and your depression will go away. Now, I do work with the Round Table, the Lions, the Rotaries. I do fundraising for them. And I've noticed many of these people are so busy organizing an eye camp, blood camp, or polio eradication, doing something. They're such positive people. Nobody's depressed. You know why? They are involved in something constructive, and that's it. Beyond yourself, and that's crucial. And let's talk about number five, step 5. Step 5 says, to overcome the crisis, build strong relationships in life. I repeat, build strong relationships in life. Let me share with you a story from my book, You Can Win. There are two childhood friends, Bill and Harry. They went to school together, college together, joined the army, and war broke out, and they were fighting in the same unit. Harry was in the trench, and bullets were flying all over. And from the darkness, a voice came, Harry, I'm hurt. Please come and help me. So right away he knew this was his childhood friend, Bill. So he asked the captain, can I go? Captain said, no. Look at the way bullets are flying. You could be dead. I could be short-handed. And the way Bill is sounding, I don't think he'll live anyway. So you cannot go. So Harry kept quiet. But then the voice came again, Harry, I'm hurt. Please come and help me. Now, since he had asked once and been refused, he did not have the guts to ask a second time. But then the voice came the third time, fourth time, fifth time. Harry couldn't hold himself. He's a captain. This is my childhood friend. I gotta go. He said, okay, go. So Harry crawled through the darkness, went to Bill, grabbed him, dragged him back, threw him, and fell over him. And they found Bill was dead. It was his dead body. So when Captain saw Bill dead, he got angry. He said, didn't I tell you, you shouldn't have gone. You could have been killed. I could have been short-handed. You made a mistake. Harry said, no, Captain, I did not make a mistake. Because when I reached Bill and grabbed him, he wasn't dead. His last words were, Harry, I knew you would come. His last words were, Harry, I knew you would come. Folks, this is how crucial good relationships are in life. And when there's a good one, it needs to be nurtured and cherished. Folks, remember one thing. Our biggest asset is not our bank balance. Our biggest asset in life is our relationship balance. Why do I say that? Dilip, have you noticed one thing? People who have good relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. True? Yeah. See, what a person with good relationship can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Now, see, relationships we need to look at, nurtured in at personally, professionally, socially, all three. Personally, professionally, socially. Now, personally means what? Folks, personally is our close family and friends. Close family and friends. You know, they are our support group. They are a support group. And people who have good relationships. Harvard University did a study, it said, people who have good relationships, they live happier and healthier life. Now, they are our closest relatives and friends. And God forbid, if any one of us was in the hospital tonight, how many people will be around us? Maybe 1, 2, 3, no more, no more. And you know, sadly, they are many times the most neglected, and we take them for granted. You know, this crisis, what it has done, people who have strong bonding, they're coming out stronger. And people who don't have good relationships, this is time to build, otherwise you'll break anyway. Other relationships, which is called professionally or socially. There are many people out there, who join Rotaries, the Lions, the Round Table, or the Chamber of Commerce, or business councils. They join these outfits. You know why? Want to network. You know what the meaning of network to them means? Let me build contacts. Let me build contact. Someday he could be useful. Someday he could be useful. That is the only reason why they get involved in networking and building, so someday they can take advantage of this contact. You know something? You can relate with people who look at something and deep connection with you so long as you are useful. Usefulness goes, relationship goes also. They are parasites. You can never in life build relationship with such people. We need to understand relationships are built on only one thing, and that is you need to give a value addition to another person's life. You need to give. You make them enrich. That is the only way in life to build a relationship. Now, I got a call the other day from a gentleman who I had not met for 10 years. And he said, Mr. Khera, I'm just going through, since we have so much time, I was just going through my contact list and I saw your name. We had met 10 years ago and we felt good about each other, but somewhere we disconnected. I apologize, I didn't keep up with you, but I'm just calling to reconnect. I have no business with you, but I'm just calling to reconnect. I said, man, what a guy. What a guy. He hung up. And I said, he beat me to a phone call. And after he hung up, I learned one lesson. Immediately, I pulled up my telephone book. And I started looking at names of people who I had met 2, 3, 4 years ago. And we connected very well, but somewhere I didn't keep up. My fault. I called them and I said, buddy, we enjoyed each other's company. I apologize. We met this time, but I didn't keep up with you. My fault. It is my loss. I'm just calling to reconnect. We have no business. You know something? We just reconnected. We just reconnected. Now, we have an office in Singapore. One evening, I came from a dinner. And a man saw my suit and tie. He said, you coming from dinner? I said, yes. He said, I hope you met some people today who could be useful to you. I felt like giving him a piece of my mind and something else also. This guy can only think of, I hope you met some people who could be useful. He is only looking to extract. He doesn't understand that meeting good people in life is good enough. Meeting good people in life is good enough. You see, when you have strong relationships, you can rely on each other. You're friends. You become a friend. Now, you don't make friendship because somebody could be useful someday. If you make friendship only for that reason, usefulness goes, friendship also goes. But keep one thing in mind, folks. A good friend, it is a moral obligation to help a friend at time of need. It is my duty. If a friend is in trouble, they come to me. Is it my duty to help? Answer is yes. If I don't help, am I behaving like a friend? No. And if I help him, am I doing a favor? No. It is my duty to help. Remember one thing, but it is never the purpose of friendship. Helping each other always remains incidental to friendship. I repeat, it always remains incidental to friendship, never the purpose of it. Therefore, we need to understand what we can enrich the other person's life. That is the only way you can build good relationships in life, not with parasites. Okay, next step. Number 6. Dilip bhai, I take it that most people who are listening are from India. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next one, number 6 is become a proactive person, not a reactive person. What does that mean? We do our leadership programs in 20 countries. In fact, we did it for a few companies in Dubai going back a long time ago. But in our leadership program, it's a 3-day program, 4-day program. By surprise, we ask people, are you a good person? And once in a while they say, well, I'm not sure if other people think I think, so on. And once in a while they do give an answer by saying, oh yeah, I'm good. Then you ask, what makes you good? Since you take them by surprise, they don't know what to say. So then they say, well, I'm good because I don't do bad. I'm good because I don't tell lies. I'm good because I don't cheat. I'm good because I don't steal. That's what makes me good. And my answer to them is, sir, I disagree with your answer. Folks, just because I don't do bad does not make me good. Folks, if I don't steal, it only means I'm not a thief, but that does not make me good. If I don't tell lies, it only means I'm not a liar, but that does not make me good. And if I don't cheat, it only means I'm not a cheat, but that does not make me good. Go ask a medical doctor. Absence of ill health does not mean good health. I repeat, absence of ill health does not mean good health. So a person does not become good because they don't do bad. We become good when we proactively do good. That's the time you become good. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I noticed one thing. I've been doing leadership programs for Lufthansa, big companies, Johnson & Johnson, 35 years. And Dilip, I have learned one thing in my life. A good leader is never neutral. If you're neutral, you're a politician. A good leader always takes a stand for something, and he takes a stand against something. I repeat, a good leader is never neutral. If he's neutral, he's a politician. They take a stand for something and they take a stand against something. Now I share with you. Why am I sharing this with you? Because we keep hearing compassion is a good word. And it is. But I have no compassion for enemies of humanity. I repeat, I have no compassion for enemies of humanity. Now, who are the enemies of humanity? Folks, I've seen videos from New York. I've seen videos in Europe. I've seen videos in India where people are either infected or not infected, but they are throwing stones and beating up the healthcare professionals, doctors and nurses. They're spitting on cops and doctors. They're spitting in the hospital at them. They're spitting on vegetables. They're spitting on fruits. They're spitting on home delivery pizzas, knowing fully well that by spitting, this person could be infected and dead. This is sadistic behavior. I call them enemies of humanity. I have no compassion for them. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I did a program for about 5,000 to 6,000 people. And from the audience, a man came up to the dais and he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? Now, I learned one thing. Don't answer a question till you clarify. And number two, sometimes the best answer to a question is a question. So I asked him, I said, sir, I don't know how to answer it till you tell me what's a Gandhian. What are the criteria of being a Gandhian? What are the principles or pillars of Gandhi? Till you tell me, then I will tell you if I'm a Gandhian or not. He said, well, Gandhi believed in 3 principles. 1, Gandhi believed that with love you can win everybody. 2, Gandhi believed in tolerance. 3, Gandhi believed in non-violence. 3 principles of Gandhi. And then again he looks at me right in my eyes. He said, are you a Gandhian? I don't know what came to my mind, Dilip, at that point. I said, look, in our culture, we do have epics which we respect, such as the Ramayana, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Mahabharata. We do respect. I've not read them, but I've heard them. So I don't know what came to my mind. I said, sir, can you tell me, look at the 3 criteria of being a Gandhian. I said, sir, can you tell me, was Rama Gandhian? Was Rama Gandhian? Now, once you said, with love you can win everybody, was Rama able to win with love? Answer is no, he could not. 2, you said second pillar is tolerance. Did Ram say I'm a very tolerant person? You kidnap my wife away, it's okay, I'll get a second one. You'll kidnap the second one, I'll get a third one. You'll kidnap a third one, I'll get a fourth one. Did he say that? He said, no, I will not tolerate kidnappers. 3, you said non-violence. I said, what did Ram do? He had to pull out his weapon and destroy the evil. So I said, Ram failed all 3 tests. That means Ram was not a Gandhian. And then I said, well, go through our history. Look at our Sikh history. The Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, the 10th Guru, when they were forced conversion, was he able to win with love? Answer was no. Did he tolerate the oppression and terrorism? He said no. Third, did he have to pull out the weapons and fight? He said yes. So that was violence. So I said he was not a Gandhian either. So I said, I want to make one thing very clear. When your women and children's respect and dignity is being auctioned, show me one scripture which says at that time you should go to the temple and do chanting and prayers at that time. Show me one place where it says when your women, children, their respect and dignity is being auctioned, that you should do meditation and go out to temples. It doesn't say that. Not protecting them is cowardice, that is not tolerance. And I said, sir, be very clear, I am not a Gandhian. See, Ram stood for something. He stood for good, he stood against evil. Ram did not say, I'm a neutral person. I'm okay with everything, this side and that side. Now, he was not a politician. Folks, we need to be very clear. Leadership says very clearly, we need to take a stand in life. You cannot be neutral and be a good leader. You can become a politician, all right. Okay. Now, step 7. Dilip, I'm going to cut short one item. I'm going to cut only 8 in the interest of time. And the next step is folks, keep in mind, faith gives strength, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. I repeat, faith gives strength, but blind faith leading to superstition weakens people. वो कहते हैं साहब, विश्वास अच्छी चीज है, अंधविश्वास बुरी चीज है. It weakens people. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because one of the biggest damage done to many countries, including India, has been done by our media. Indian media especially, the print media, the electronic media. Anytime you open up the paper or open the TV, what do you see? You see there is a Baba sitting there with saffron or white and a few tilak here and a few tilak here, and he's that Maharaj, Babu, Baba, Guruji, and he's sitting there. And he asks people, Naam bolo, kahan se bol rahe ho bolo, janam tithi bolo, time bolo, Guruji malum nahi, koi baat nahi, I will take it out. Tick, 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 tick. And he does on the computer, and he says, पत्नी दोष, पुत्री दोष, पिता दोष, फलाना दोष, ये दोष, वो दोष चल रहा है, वो दोष मंगलिक हो गया, मंगलिक हो गया. अरे फिर शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया, शनि चढ़ गया. अरे तो शनि उतार क्या है, उपाय क्या है, शनि उतारने का उपाय क्या है? बोले एक काला रुमाल लीजिए, उसमें काली दाल डालिए, फिर काजल लगाइए, काले बाल वाला खोजिए, 7 बारी खोपड़ी में घुमाइए, और काला कुत्ता खोजो, काला बर्तन खोजो. This is what is going on, sir, and people are doing it. Sir, let me ask you, if it was so easy, if it's so easy to get Shani in, Shani out, Shani in, Shani out, Shani in, Shani out, why don't we send Shani to Ladakh and fight the Chinese? My big question is, why doesn't Shani go to Australia? Why doesn't Shani go to New Zealand? The Shani is stuck here. You know something, if you look at the life histories of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Dayanand, Guru Nanak, they never believed in all these things. They never did. Go read it, I checked it. And you look at life history, Guru Nanak, they fought against it. And within Sikh families, they never tally horoscopes. There is no Manglik. There is no good omen. Every wedding is done on a Sunday. Sunday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Saturday. Saturday doesn't sit right, they do it on Friday. Everything is good. Now, why am I sharing all this with you? There is a reason. Because 1 year ago, there was an article that came out in India Today. It said that because of superstition and the astrological reasons, natural childbirth in India has gone down by 80%. Can you imagine, Dilip bhai? Natural childbirth has gone down by 80%. And they mentioned specifically South India, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Madras. And they said 80% of childbirth in South India is done through C-section operation. You know why? Because some astrologers said this is a good time to pull out your kid. What a joke! You know the sad part? There are so many people like sitting there with saffron and white clothes, and people go to Babaji and they touch their feet. The guy who should be in jail is a criminal. And they go to them and they say, Babaji, kya kare, Babaji? Wo kehta hai, preet karo, preet karo, preet karo. One Baba is selling preet, another Baba is selling honey, and one Baba is selling honey preet mixed together. What a joke. And people are doing it. Now, let me share an important reason. Folks, all of us in life have ups and downs. Show me one person who has not had downs. I bet, Dilip bhai, you have had downs in life too. We all have ups and downs. But you know something? When we have downs in life, we learn from mistakes. We learn from the situation. We analyze and we say, if the similar situation came again, will I behave the same way? If you do, means you haven't learned anything. We analyze, learn from it, accept responsibility. So next time we don't do it again. But people who do not want to accept responsibility, you know what they say when things go wrong? Not my fault, my stars are not favoring me. My stars are not favoring me. They will blame the stars and never accept responsibility. And they keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again and again. Now, you see, one of my previous programs, there were almost 103,000 people who had logged in into the program. And we had a little Q&A session. One person asked me a question, Mr. Khera, now there are people who go to temples for darshan and they wait 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours in line to go and only have the darshan inside. Would you call it faith or blind faith? Would you call it vishwas or andhvishwas? They asked me this question. Now, here is what my answer was, Dilip bhai, and my answer was that, look, I do believe in God. Because there is a superpower, there are many things which are unexplained, and they are mysteries. Okay? Now, I do pray every day, and I go out of my house with the prayer. But in the last 40 years, or 45 years, I don't think I have visited any temple more than maybe any temple anywhere. I might have gone once, twice somewhere to the Gurdwara or somewhere. That's about it, no more. I've not gone to any temple. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I feel very strongly that 90% people who are temple goers today, they go there more out of fear than out of faith. If you don't do this, this will happen. You don't do this, this will happen. You don't do this, this will happen. They go there more out of fear than out of faith. Folks, remember, faith gives strength. And read through Swami Vivekananda, Swami Dayanand, Guru Nanak, you will find it's an eye-opener. They never believed in all these things. Faith strengthens people. Blind faith weakens people. And last item. I've skipped one, but last item. This is time to give back. This is time to give back. We are grateful to God. We have a nice home, and God has given us respectable food. But there are many people who don't have it. It is time for us to share with them. Now, I've noticed in the news, TV, there are many good people all over the world who have come forward. They've given money, they've given time, they've given food, all over the world. There are many, many, many good people. But, Dilip, I hear this very carefully. There is one community who has been honored by the government of Canada. They've been honored by the government of the United States. They've been honored by the government of UK. They've been honored by the Australian government and New Zealand government for their humanitarian service. One community. Guess what that community is? That community is the Sikh community from India. The Sikh community have been honored everywhere in the world by governments. You know why? Because their concept of sharing langar was there even before the crisis. And they were feeding millions of people per day, all the underprivileged, the poor people. But after the crisis, the number has been gone up. Even the governments are using them to help out the poor. You know why? Because they're caring people. 2, they're sharing people. 3, they're daring people. 3 things are very crucial. They are caring people, they care. They're daring people, they're sharing people, they share. And 3, they're daring people, they dare. They have the guts to fight against evil and oppression. Look at that young boy and the Ladakh border. One Sikh kid killed 12 Chinese people alone, single-handed, Gurtej. You know why? Because the Sikh philosophy says you must fight evil. They have the gut to fight. I wish in India, instead of our constitution, which has been amended 150 times, if in India we had adopted the philosophy, Sikh philosophy of the Guru Granth Sahib, I think India would have been a different country totally. Now, last thing, in France, there was a man by the name of Lafayette, very wealthy man. And he had warehouses full of grains. And major drought came into France. And people were starving. And his warehouses were full with grains. So his advisor said, Mr. Lafayette, this is the time to multiply your money, 10x, 100x. Lafayette said, you don't understand. You know, this is how petty minds think in life, petty minds. He said, there were good times. They were laughing, we were laughing. They were making money, we were making money. He said, this is not good time. This is time to open up all the warehouse. Give it free. Give it free. You know something? This is what makes the world livable. Now, only because I was doing a program in Singapore for a group of very high net worth people, very high net worth. One is HNI, VHNI. Now, who do I class very high net worth? People who have net worth in excess of $250 million, $250 million. That's my definition. So as I finished the program, one person from the audience came up and he asked me, Mr. Khera, tell me, why as a person who's a billionaire, he already has billions. He doesn't need more money. Many generations will carry on. But why does a billionaire, multi-billionaire keep working to make more billion? Why does he do it? So I said, my friend, there are 2 kinds of people, who billionaires, who keep working to make more money, more billions. One billionaire is a billionaire who's suffering from inferiority complex. This guy has billions, but he wants to make more to keep a score. You see, he compares with the Joneses. How come they have this, I don't have it? How come they have this, I don't have it? How come they have this, I don't have it? How come they have this, I don't have it? Then, they were 100 million, I must have 200. You got 200, I must make 300. Got 300, I must make 400. He's got 4, I must make 5. Because if I have less, I'm inferior. You know what they're doing, Dilip Bhai? They're measuring their self-worth by their net worth. The sad part is, they don't understand. People make things, things don't make people. You take the things away, they die out of shame. They sit on the treasure and the money like a snake. Does nothing for society, that rascal. That is a donkey. And if it was defined beautifully by Warren Buffett, he said a donkey is a donkey, will remain a donkey. Now, if he has $1 billion, it only means he is a donkey with $1 billion. Means what? If I cart bricks of gold on a donkey, he does not become a golden donkey. See, if I cart the scriptures on a donkey, the donkey does not become a spiritual donkey. Donkey bloody well remains a donkey, and that's about it. Now, that is one breed of billionaires who make money to cover the inferiority. But there is a second breed of billionaires who make money, more billions, with only one intent. The more I have, the more I give. The more I have, the more I give. The more I have, the more I give. Warren Buffett, worth $40 billion, given $39 billion to the underprivileged. Bill Gates got $33 billion, give $32 billion to charity. Azim Premji gave $7 billion 6 months ago. Tata Groups, Tata Company, 66% of all profits go into charity to underprivileged. You know something? This is what life makes worth livable. Now, when we do our leadership programs, we do talk of financial independence. We do talk. And people from the audience come up and they say, Mr. Khera, but you do talk of money. You talk of money. I said, yes. And they say, well, money is not important. I've written my new book. Those who say money is not important, either they're stupid or they're billionaires. Now, I did not say money is the most important thing in life. I didn't say that. But money is very important. You see, then many times people say, money is the root of all evils. I said, no, you got it wrong. Money is only a medium of exchange. I provide you with good services, you reward me with money. What's wrong with that? Now, the more goods and services I provide you, the more you reward me with money. What's wrong with that? I said, my friend, money is not the root of all evils. It is the love of money which is the root of all evils. Loving money using people, you got it wrong. Loving people using money, you got it right. I said, money is wonderful. Money is food for the hungry. Money is medicine for the sick. Money is shelter for the homeless. And money is wonderful. But you know, sadly, what happens? Many times in the pursuit of money, we lose out the things that money just cannot buy. And the most precious things in life, money just cannot buy. See, money can buy you amusement, but not happiness. Money can buy you books, but not wisdom. Money can buy you a bed, but not sleep. Money can buy you a companion, but not a friend. Money can buy you comfort, but not happiness. See, money can buy you food, but not appetite. Money can buy you a house, but not a home. Money can buy you a ring, but not a marriage. The most precious things in life, money just cannot buy. Now, you see, this is the difference between, Dilip Bhai, This is the difference between making money versus earning money. Making money is criminal. Earning money is spiritual. Sad part is most people want to make money. Very few people want to earn money. We need to learn in life to earn money, not make money. Earning money is spiritual. Making money is criminal. That is the ethical way of reaching heights. I want to close this with one thing. All I can say is, probably, sir, the courtesy you have extended to me, I'm grateful to you, sir. I'm honored. I don't know if I have returned the value that you have given me. Probably you have given me much more than I have given you back, sir. You have given me something which is priceless. And that is what? It is your time, sir. And I learned one thing, time is more precious than money. Yes, no. Time is always more precious than money. Why did you give me your time, sir? Because you felt, you trusted me, that I would not waste your time. And sir, I've learned one thing in my life, that trust in many ways is a much greater compliment in life than love. There are people we love, but we can't trust. With those words, all I can say is, I wish, and every program closed with, that it is the moral obligation of every good human being to become a multi-millionaire. You know why? Because money in good hands always does good, and money in evil hands always does evil. So with those words, sir, I'm grateful. Wish everybody good health.
Thank you. Thank you, Shiv Khera ji. I think it's been very inspiring. I've been getting messages in the meanwhile towards the end of your this, saying that on the screen also messages thanking you for a very inspiring talk. Just before there is one question, I will put it to you.
Sure.
I wanted to tell you that in this crisis in UAE, all the communities from India, from different parts, have come together with the local authorities and have done a yeoman job for the blue collar workers, right from the quarantine time to providing facilities, doctors, nurses from our country, from different parts, and people, rich and poor, they have come together and done quite well. And we have also at IBPC played a small part
Yes.
here. So just one question. So there's a lot of goodness around in the world, and it comes out during challenging times. There is one from Manjeet Singh Chabra. He says that his question is, he finds your talk very inspiring, as we all do. What is the difference between fear and anxiety? And is it okay to be fearful in current times?
Manjeet ji, the only thing I can say is, sir, fear is something that we don't want to happen to us. So we're scared of it. Fear is something. Now, fear is also natural and normal, by the way. And keep in mind, courage in life is not absence of fear. It is overcoming fear. I repeat, courage is not absence of fear. It is overcoming fear. Let me ask you, that champion athlete, the boxer, the champion boxer, when he's fighting the championship bout, does he have fear in him? Answer is yes, he does. He has that anxiety, and it is that anxiety that makes him perform. That fear is there. If we didn't have it, we fear fire. If we didn't, we go burn ourselves. If we did not fear fire, we burn ourselves. So we need to understand that fear has its value in life. It does. So we don't destroy ourselves. Fear of falling from 13th floor, we'll be dead. So I'm not going to go to the 13th floor and go take a chance and fall and check if I'm all right or not. So only thing is that we must keep fear in perspective. Let us use fear to our advantage. Let not fear overcome us. That is where we get paralyzed. I repeat, that is where we get paralyzed.
Thank you for your inspiring talk, sir. And thank you for all the members and guests who have joined today. It was live on YouTube as well, and a lot more people joined there as well. So thank you, everybody. And thank you, sir. Good health. Good luck, and look forward to seeing you sometimes in near future. When things are even much better, we'll hopefully have you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.